Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sober is Dope. I'm Pop Buchanan, and I'm dressed like the Grim Reaper today because the question I want to answer today is, can a sober person or a sober alcoholic ever drink again? And that's a tricky question, but I can say with confidence the answer, in my opinion, is a big fat no. And this is why. Alcohol is a brain disease that affects the dopamine receptors in our brains. So when you are clinically allergic to alcohol or you have an allergy, which means if you do drink, you will suffer addiction. You won't be able to stop. You will go on long binges and you would need more alcohol to make you feel better. And this vicious cycle never ends. And this is why alcohol affects the dopamine in our brain. You have a drink, the alcohol steals available dopamine that's in your brain. So your dopamine reserves get stolen and replaced by the alcohol. And what happens is, after long-term use and consistent use, your body starts to run out of available dopamine and it starts to look for the alcohol to replace that dopamine, and that's where the cycle comes from. So I'm giving you my experience. If I had a drink, I would not be able to stop for some reason. And I thought I was strange and all by myself, but it turns out that I was just like the millions of people all around the world who suffer from addiction or alcoholism, because the way my brain worked, it was very sensitive to dopamine. And if I drank alcohol, the alcohol would drain my natural dopamine extremely fast. And then when I wake up the next day, I will feel real crappy, as if something was wrong. I will feel extremely out of place. I'll feel shaky and I'll feel kind of sick. And that sickness was the lack of dopamine or the rapid decrease in dopamine levels that affected me due to my drinking. So what happens? I feel crazy, and it's subconsciously and instinctively, I kind of feel like I need another drink. And they call that the hair of the dog. And that next drink is what makes me feel a little bit better, right? But then what happens is I keep drinking to feel better. Then I start to feel lousy. I start to get drunk. I start to get angry. And then because alcohol is a depressant, it would depress my nervous system and I would start to get sick and depressed and angry, lonely, and tired all over again. And then I'll go back to sleep, and then I'll wake up the next day and I start feel lousy all over again. And this is the vicious cycle of dopamine and how it affects us with alcohol. So if you are in recovery and you're sober and you're an alcoholic and you suffer from alcoholism, which means you cannot drink without stopping on your own. If you drink, you're going to continue to drink, and you're going to need to drink to feel better. If this is your deal, the answer is no. You cannot have a drink if you are sober and you are an alcoholic in sobriety. Once you find your sobriety, your best bet is to maintain your recovery for the rest of your life. And you could do this one day at a time, and you could utilize AA, you could utilize Smart Recovery, you could listen to sober podcasts like the Sober is Dope podcast, you could use Live a Life of Service, and you would just have to work it out on your own in a creative way and find community and friends. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Pop Buchanan, you're listening to Sober is Dope, and I'm answering the world's question today. Can you drink if you're an alcoholic in sobriety? And the answer is definitely 100% emphatically a big fat no. I love you all, and I'll catch you on the other side. Peace.